Hello, Minglawa everyone, and greeting from Myanmar. I'm Jamia Ton and Jeff. Today I'm going to discuss about the question that is the travel and tourism in line with the Paris 1.5 trajectory. So firstly, let me share the screen. So, the topic we're going to discuss is travel and tourism aligned with the Paris 1.5 trajectory. So what is Paris 1.5? It is the agreement within the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, called initially UNFCCC, in dealing with greenhouse gas emissions, mitigations, adaptations, and financing up in 2016, April 22. Then in December 2015, 196 countries negotiated, and at 21st the conference of the UNFCCC and celebrated in Le Bourget, Paris. There was it was affected on the 2016 November 4. Then in 2020 February, 196 members have signed in this agreement. But even though 196 members signed, but only 189 countries become members, except Iran, Turkey, and other 5 countries, so altogether 7 countries except. Then the goal of this, the UN FCCC, is to pursue efforts to limit the increase to 1.5 degrees Celsius to 2.7 degrees Fahrenheit, to keep global temperature to well 2 degrees Celsius but 3.6 degrees Fahrenheit, to adapt to adverse impacts of the climate change, to make finance flows consistent with the pathway towards low greenhouse gas emissions and climate resilient development. So let's focus on the travel and tourism and with this 1.5 Paris trajectory. So in tourism, there are of course the good outcome, and there will be also bad outcome. So what are the advantages? I'd like to make a quote of the UNCCC chief, Mrs. Patricia Espinosa. So in the conference, which is called World Travel and Tourism Conference, United Nations, the climate change chief, which was but held by the World Tourism, the Travel and Tourism, the Council, held in 2019, September 25. She said in 2018, the travel and tourism has grown to the global economic force, generating 10.4% of the global GDP and 3.9% growth rate travel sector itself. But it had 320 million jobs globally, in focus state to add 100 million new jobs next 10 years. But there are of course down outcome, that the disadvantages. So because of the travel and tourism only, the 8% of the global greenhouse gas emissions is contributing to the climate change, which is huge. More than double by the Paris Agreement. So industry's annual carbon footprint is growing at annual rate of 4%. Then in coming 2030, the tourism could be responsible for 15% of the emissions. And from 1998 to 2017 period, in direct economics lost by the disaster, which is globally, which is related to climate change, estimated to $3 billion. So most of them, these disasters are mostly related to the climate, about 77%. Then estimatedly 1.3 million lives were lost. But So about 90% of these the disasters are because of floods, storms, droughts, and heat waves and extreme weather events. So that the climate change is the single biggest threat to the travelers and tourism. So climate change is outpacing us and outpacing our collective ability to get a handle on it, and concerns outpace your business and have a devastating impact on the global economy itself, she said. And so the way to achieve by 2050 is a timely and it is important initiative. Then when here, I'd like to mention the quote of the Jack Welch, the former CEO of the General Electric. He said, change before you have to. Not changed by us, but by reality and by climate change. It's a very good saying. So climate change has been seen clearly daily. Single biggest threat to the travel, tour and sitter. No climate change. Many companies keep continuing operating without care as if it doesn't exist. This is very terrible. Society must change. Business the same, including travelers and tourism. So this is more than a question of morality. It is kind of survival. So a major challenge to achieving a more sustainable tourism industry is resilience or lack thereof. Livelihoods depend on tourism are extremely vulnerable to the impacts of the climate change, and there is an opportunity for the industry, for tourists and for host communities to benefit from sustainable approaches to tourism. So leaders in the tourism industry shift toward low carbon resilient growth. Governments should take that cue to increase the ambitiousness of their own climate targets, demand better, more sustainable ways of traveling and experiencing new places, ways that benefit local communities and protect the global environment. Thank you very much.